Excellencies, Mr. R. Dinesh, President CII, Mr. Chandrajit Banerjee, DG CII, Secretary West, Ambassador Sanjay Verma, distinguished delegates, all participants. Let me begin by commending the Confederation of Indian Industries, CII, for organizing, in collaboration with the Ministry of External Affairs, the second edition of the India Nordic-Baltic Business Conclave in New Delhi. It is the first in the physical mode, following the virtual one which we did 3 years back. Now, this conclave is significant because it reflects the growing awareness of our two regions about the possibilities and opportunities in cooperation. This certainly speaks of a more globalized era, but from India's perspective, also of an expanding footprint. The Baltic Sea and the Arctic region have re-emerged in strategic prominence, and conversations about future connectivity and logistics have business implications as well. Now, as you all know, the first two India-Nordic summits were held in Stockholm in April 2018 and in Copenhagen in May 2022, respectively. On these occasions, our leaders underlined the importance of a rule-based multilateral trading system, as well as an open and inclusive international order for global prosperity and growth. They had discussed vital issues relating to global security, to economic growth, innovation, digital transformation, and climate change. We certainly noted the role of Nordic countries as innovation leaders in global growth. Now, along with the Nordic nations, the Baltic states too are in the forefront of innovations, startups, tech applications, and digital progress. Given the integration between these two regions, it makes eminent sense for India to engage them collectively. India's talent pool, digital adoption, and startup ecosystem align well with the Baltic region's prominence in e-governance, digital innovation, supply chain management, and other frontier industries. As open economies, they have adopted a model of a responsive government, a prudent fiscal policy, a favorable investment climate, and flexible labor markets. Hence, a natural synergy to expand and deepen our relationship further with this region. It is encouraging for me to note this very strong participation from official and business delegations from all 8 Nordic and Baltic countries in this conclave. This demonstrates our collective resolve for stronger India NB8 relations. At the first conclave in 2020, we shared views on the uncertainty and volatility of the pandemic and whether we could change challenges emerging from the crisis into opportunities. We talked about more resilient and reliable global supply chains, about reform for global welfare and growth to be greener, smarter, and more digital. We had reposed faith even then that the India NB8 partnership could make a substantive difference. That conversation now has to move forward, especially in practical terms. NB8 countries collectively represent an economy of more than $2 trillion, with a population, I believe, of about 33 million, and obviously with a high standard of living. They enjoy a high GDP per capita, and India's combined trade in goods with the NB8 countries is currently around $7.3 billion. This is, I'm talking of 2022-23. And the cumulative FDI received from Nordic countries from 2000 to 2023 is $4.69 billion. More than 700 Nordic companies are present in India, and close to 150 Indian companies have their presence in that region. So this is the economic baseline on which we need to build further. Our engagement with the NB8 countries has expanded clearly in the last few years. We opened our embassies in Tallinn in December 2021 and in Vilnius this year in March. We will be opening a resident embassy in Latvia very soon. Conversely, Finland has opened a consulate in Mumbai. Direct flights between India and Finland and to India to Denmark are facilitating mobility between our countries. Appropriate institutional frameworks with NB8 countries are also being established for closer business-to-business cooperation. With Finland, we have established sustainability partnerships, digitalization, and education dialogue. With Denmark, our Green Strategic Partnership is strengthening and facilitating collaborations in water solutions, wind energy, green hydrogen, and agriculture. We also look forward to stronger cooperation with the Faroe Islands and with Greenland. With Sweden, our leadership for industry transition, what is called Lead IT initiative, has been joined by 18 nations and 19 major global companies, and it has clearly borne fruit in the last few years. More than 260 Swedish companies are in India, working in innovation, in construction, in defense, and in clean technology. Saab, I believe, is going to set up a manufacturing facility in India. India and Iceland are working closely on harnessing geothermal energy in Ladakh and Himachal Pradesh. Similar projects are being planned for Northeast India. Efforts are on to establish a center for excellence in cold and warm water fisheries. We have also forged strong cooperation with Norway to harness the potential of the blue economy, wind, and geothermal energy, as also polar studies, green shipping, water management, space, and health. With the Baltic nations, we have regular official level interactions and we are seeking to explore new avenues for stronger cooperation in e-governance, in cyberspace, in the Internet of Things, startups, defense technology, supply chain, and logistics. There is clearly, however, much more work to be done. Now, given India's ambitious target to set up renewable energy capacities of 450 gigawatts by 2030, India's renewable energy sector is expected to attract investments worth US $200 billion in the coming years. According to the CII itself, India's food processing sectors have the potential similarly to attract as much as US $33 billion over the next decade. Under the Sagar Mala program, India has envisioned port-led development that I believe involves more than 600 projects overall. So these offer real opportunities for the NB8 countries for investment, for trade, and for tech collaboration and exchange of mutual expertise and best practices. The growth of fisheries too is a domain of natural collaboration. On a different note, India is an observer in the Arctic Council. It is interested in increasing its stake further in joint research and development projects and exploring rare earth mining, water, telecommunication, science, technology, innovation, and telemedicine opportunities. Given India's scientific engagement in the Antarctic, exploring a more expansive Indian and Nordic collaboration in the field will be helpful, especially in polar and climate research. Similarly, the world saw our capabilities when Chandrayaan-3 landed on the moon. India's space program opens up new opportunities for collaboration with NB8. Given the fast transforming nature of space technology, the significance of launching sites in the Arctic region, and commercialization of space and geospatial sectors in India can boost public-private collaboration. India's G20 presidency provided a unique opportunity for India to have both closer engagement with Europe and deeper ties with the global South. Some of you joined different tracks of this G20 engagement process and contributed to its success. The voice of the Global South Summit has given a new energy today to finding practical solutions for the challenges of sustainable growth. India and NB8 can partner in this regard as they can in advancing the Global Biofuel Alliance. Some NB8 countries already have extensive development partnership programs in Africa, and our long-established Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation ITEC program can be a platform for further collaboration and diversification. Besides trade, investments, and technology, efforts are also made to facilitate the smooth movement of skills and talent between India and Europe. At the 13th India-EU Summit, we adopted a joint declaration on the common agenda on migration and mobility. A high-level dialogue on migration and mobility is in place to give it concrete form. We have already concluded agreements with Germany, Italy, France, Portugal, and Austria. Our negotiations with Denmark and Finland have made significant progress. I would urge others of the NB8 to consider its significance in the era of a knowledge economy. Prime Minister Modi has undertaken several structural economic reforms in the last 9 years, transitioning the informal economy into the organized one, cleansing the financial system, rationalizing taxation, incentivizing production, doubling down on infrastructure and logistics, digitizing the government's interface with its citizens, and ushering in an ambitious energy transition. Each one of these is part of a larger policy matrix which is today paying off. But this is only the beginning. India has entered the Amrit Kal, a quarter century, where more significant progress and transformation awaits us. India's development agenda is based on leveraging technology to promote an ecosystem of creativity and of innovation. We are confident that our talent, now visibly unleashed, will power us forward. Our message to the world is of digitally enabled governance and delivery, a widening ambit of amenities and services, rapidly growing infrastructure, and an energetic startup culture. The rising expectations of an aspirational India will entail economic advantages and forging stronger bilateral and regional partnerships. Our credentials are rooted in the resilience of our democracy, our diversity and pluralism, and geopolitical heft, including our strategic geography that links the North Atlantic to the Pacific through the Indian Ocean. It is also reflected in our stakes in the Indo-Pacific region itself and an increasing first responder capability. The India-EU FTA and the EFTA-TEPA negotiations, as you all know, are on, and we hope to see positive developments for their early conclusion. The India-EU Trade and Technology Council, too, could open new avenues for stronger India NB8 cooperating on critical technologies and ensure the restructuring of supply chains. So let me in closing say that India's relations with NB8 are truly promising, and that this business conclave is actually a testimony that others too hold that view. I'm confident that the CII can take the lead in realizing the considerable potential of this relationship. I once again thank Team CII and Team MEA for putting together this event, and all of you for joining this conclave, and I wish you a very, very productive deliberation. Thank you once again for your attention.